Good morning. Happy Sunday. Today is Sunday, October 13th, and I am your morning witch. So we've been talking about ways to look into your ancestors. And yeah, I hear you guys. I know there's the elephant in the room of like everything that I have offered already up until this point are valid options for some. But for some, there is no connection to their ancestors. Perhaps there's no actual family that raised you, or you absolutely do not venerate the family that raised you, or you do not venerate any of your actual blood ancestry that you're aware of. So how do we call out to those that we might have a better connection with? That's what we're going to talk about today. You know, I start off my talk from Mokash to myself talking about, you go far enough back. Hey, you're going to find shared ancestors for everybody alive today, right? You go far enough back, like far enough back. But also, like, you go far enough back, you're going to find ancestors that you barely recognize in practice or faith or way of life, way of thinking. Okay, so like the world literally takes all kinds, and it has for years and years and years since the beginning, since before there were people. Shit, you go far enough back, you're gonna find an ancestor that's not a people. Maybe some of you do not quote unquote believe in evolution, but I can't speak about this in a way that sounds like I don't, because I do believe in evolution. So yes, you go far enough back, you're gonna find ancestors that might resemble dinosaurs, okay? Like, you can go as far back with ancestral veneration as you want, because they all are a piece of what led to where we are today. So whether it's an ancestor that is able to be found within writings of history that is recorded, or their ancestors that you know nothing about because you don't know where they came from because of adoption or other split family ties or whatever the case may be. But this is what we're going to talk about today, because also this works for ancestors that you do know. This works for ancestors that you are familiar with the existence of. But a great way to commune with your ancestors. I'm going to give you 2 suggestions, and you take them out there into the ethers and do what you will with these suggestions, okay? Okay, the first one that I'm going to suggest is you make yourself whatever drink you want, whether it's an alcoholic beverage, a hot coffee, a cup of tea, a hot cocoa with extra whipped cream and a cinnamon stick inside. Whatever it is you feel like drinking. It's a glass of wine, or maybe it's a hot toddy, or maybe you're like me and you're like, we're gonna have a hippie highball together, great grandmother. Either way, and you can look up what a hippie highball is. Anyway, you're gonna make yourself a drink, and you're gonna make at least one other drink. Hell, if you want to be extra like me, maybe you're gonna make a place setting for 4, and it's just you and your ancestors, because you're going to make these beverages, you're going to make cookies, you're going to make whatever you want to make for the refreshments. And then you're going to sit down in a comfortable, quiet place. And it doesn't have to be that quiet. I mean, hell, if the noises of your family are around you, like, all the more appropriate, honestly, like, especially if your family is accepting of the honoring of the ancestors. Hell, maybe they'll join you. But anyway, you're gonna find a comfortable place within your home or within a space that you are comfortable with and you have a connection to, at a place that's really you. You're gonna sit down with your refreshments, and you're going to invite your ancestors to come have whatever it is with you, a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, finger sandwiches, whatever it is you've chosen as your refreshments. You're going to invite the ancestors to come dine with you. You're going to invite the ancestors to come informally, just be with you. Here's a thing that I think I talked about in another video, not sure, but definitely talked about in my presentation from Okashta myself, is the fact that just like me, your ancestors have been around you your whole existence. Like, my ancestors have been watching out for me from day one. And from day one, I mean from the moment that they plucked my spirit in the ethers and said, these two people are going to come together and they're going to give birth to a body that embodies this spirit. Like, that's how long my ancestors have been involved in my creation. Like, I actually firmly believe my ancestors put my parents together because them raising me is the only way I'd be the way I am. And my ancestors wanted me to be this way. And your ancestors have the same aspirations and hopes for you. And I'm sure that maybe that sounds like a golden child statement, like, oh, I'm the chosen one. No, it's not just me. Like, my ancestors put my parents together so my siblings would be born. My ancestors put, all these other couplings together so that my cousins existed, my aunts, my uncles, everybody. Okay, like, the ancestors have a hand in all of it because they are running the ethers, okay? Like, this is my firm belief. So from that same standpoint, like, your ancestors are running the show as well. And you know what? Again, we go far enough back, we all have shared ancestors because they can see the whole plan, right? They can see everything. So they know what needs to be put into action for success of all lines, okay? Right? Because, like, this isn't just about me. This isn't a golden child syndrome thing. This is like all of us. Like, your ancestors have had a hand in everything about you from the get-go too. And so if you invite them to come sit for tea informally, they've already been surrounding you informally. Like, I literally picture it like a full cafe of people just surrounding me at all times. And they're all there. They're all watching. They're all commentating. They're discussing with each other, just like you can imagine, like, a couple of generations of grandparents doing as, two young people who maybe are going to be betrothed eventually, as they sit around and watch and discuss, like, the futures of these young people. Like, that is exactly how the ancestors are in the ethers. They're surrounding us, they're watching us, they're saying, oh, this is what needs to happen, this is what's going to happen, this is, or we really have to protect this person from themselves because you're a self-destructive 17-year-old. And I'm talking about me, but hey, if it resonated with you, maybe I'm talking about you too. I'm just saying. Not that I'm a 17-year-old anymore, but back when I was a self-destructive 17-year-old, I gave my ancestors a fucking run for their money. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, invite them to come sit down and talk with you, and they will take you up on that invitation. Even if you're not like me and you cannot speak with the spirits and hear them, even if you can't see them like some people can, even if you only experience the vibes of their presence, you can still do this to honor your ancestors and make connections with them. Eventually, if you listen long enough, even if you don't actually hear them, you will hear the ancestors speaking back to you in a way, like, you'll understand that they're listening and responding to you, even if you can't have that ability of clairaudience and clairvoyance. And also, like, these are abilities that are innate within all of us, and you just have to work at it. So the longer you sit there and commune with the ancestors, the easier it's going to be to hear the messages that they have for you. Now, the other suggestion I have, outside of, like, inviting them to come and sit and enjoy, refreshments with you, right? Like, an informal tea party with the ancestors, so to speak. My other suggestion to get the mental juices running on things that you can do yourself that you're more comfortable with, or if you like either of these, they're great things to do. Like, I personally do them, and I follow an ancestral path. Invite your great-grandmother to take a walk with you. Go out to the woods, or even better yet, hallowed ground. Go to hallowed ground. Go to a cemetery. Go to someplace with water. If you know where your ancestors worshipped, like, my ancestors worshipped at, like, oak trees and hills and places where the earth and the waters came together. And so you can go to any kind of place that you're comfortable with. I suggest hallowed ground, or where your ancestors worshipped because I think that's appropriate, but like you do whatever you think is appropriate because that's what this is all about. This is all about you and your connection to your ancestors. Invite your great grandmother, your great grandfather, your great 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 grandfather, your great 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 grandmother, all of the ancestors. Invite them to come take a walk with you. As you walk through nature and you walk in these liminal spaces, hallowed ground, you are more open to messages. And if nothing else, you don't have the clutter and everything of the everyday life around to distract from that connection with your ancestors. So I find it a great way to talk to the ancestors. Go on a walk out in nature, like especially, like I said, graveyards, liminal spaces, hallowed ground. These are great places to talk to the ancestors because, I mean, liminal spaces are the spaces where things come in between. Like think of riparian boundaries. I don't know. It's where rivers and land come together, or lakes and land. It's for the two worlds to meet. So if the two worlds are meeting and you're inviting the ancestors on the other side into your world, like, you see what I'm saying? But anyway, invite them to come take a walk with you. It's a great place to be able to hear them better. Whether or not you speak to spirits, like, it's a great place to hear the messages from your ancestors, like outside of the hustle and bustle of life. So I hope I've given you a lot of good things to think about this Sunday, and I will talk to you tomorrow, Monday, October 14th. Have a great day.